Cool. So what were we talking about? Lost my train of thought.
We ended off by talking about like God talking to us in the details.
Mm.
So like using plants, and
Yeah, his
it's not
creation to talk
it's
to
not
us.
always just a physical voice that you hear. He
Mm.
uses things that he's made.
Because why wouldn't he? Why would
Yeah,
you not use something you've made,
yeah.
to explain it?
So that's where we ended off. Um,
And I think sometimes he requires you like a work for the answer. I think I don't know
yeah,
what else. I don't know what we've said, but I think it requires us to. He'll give you like a plant, and you got to go and research what actually our interest. Like what is the duration of the growth period or what. I don't know about plants, but like whatever the thingy details about
yeah,
the blooming times, the planting the seeds, if it needs water, what conditions, and because that could be what God's
yeah. He could
talking
talk
to
through
you
that. Yeah,
through that. And that's but you just expect him to be like, yeah, it's going to take this. He's going to
yeah.
come down and be like, it's going to be in 3 months time, you know it's going to be hot and
It's
whatever,
yeah,
which is really cool. But it's just more being aware, heartened to that,
to how he talks.
being aware of
Yeah.
his voice is not always audible. It's very actually seldom
Mm.
audible.
And I think also
um
a good thing too, you have to trust what you're hearing,
mm,
because it's often like you might get this feeling like you can discern something, you can
mm,
like you get like this feeling like, oh, maybe I should do this, and you're like, no, it's fine,
yeah.
like, and it's like, no, trust him,
Mm.
trust what this feeling he's giving you, trust what he's telling you, type of thing. And sometimes you're like, okay, but what if it's the devil telling me? And sometimes you won't know, but
Sometimes you just gotta actually
you
just take
just
that
have
leap
to you
of
have to.
faith and
And
go.
also it's like, the one thing I read something, it's like, God is the Prince of Peace. If you feel at peace about something and you're not sure still, then like
Mm.
God gives you the peace.
You can
And
still be
even,
scared but be at
yeah,
peace.
and even if you don't feel the peace at that moment, it's like ultimately God will use everything for the good of those who
Mm.
love him, which is the Romans 8 verse.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, even if the devil is telling you to go one way and you think like you need to go there, you think that's God telling you, it's like, okay, no, but ultimately if you keep going back to God at the end of the day, if you keep
Mm.
like searching for God, you will find him.
Yeah.
It's again, that's that knock and you will receive, like search and you will find. You will find God if you
Yeah.
you search for him. So it's, even if you can't figure out if it's God or if it's the
Mm.
devil, it's like,
And I also believe that
just
sometimes you actually have to. Sometimes you're not sure. You had peace about it, but you're also like
mm,
not sure. But you can just have to go for it,
yeah,
and then just pray that if it's not from him, if this is not his what he's asking you to do, that it fizzles out. And it's the same
yeah,
in like in a relationship. Like I've heard so many people be like, oh, I'm not ready. Like the guy's like, I'm not ready. First
mm,
of all, the guy finds the right girl, he's gonna prepare, he's gonna make
yeah,
himself
he'll
ready
be
for that girl.
ready.
He's gonna
He'll
prepare,
get
he's
there.
gonna change for that girl because that's what love does.
Yeah,
Love is oh, what is it? Love conquers all. Like
mm,
love's gonna drive them
yeah,
to if it's the right girl. And often they're like, oh, I just didn't feel like doing whatever it was. And I was like, well, maybe because you actually weren't in
it
love. It
wasn't.
wasn't love.
Yeah,
Because the true love is gonna give you the drive to want to do
yeah,
it and to want to change, or want to that a man will prepare himself for the right girl even if he's not ready. And same thing with, obviously this works with both ways for a girl and a guy, but it's also like I've heard so many people be like, oh, I'm not sure, like Christians, they're like, oh, there's this guy, like I don't know if I should go out with him, like he
mm,
likes me or like whatever it means, but I'm not sure, like I don't think he's the one. Go out for coffee. Just because you go for one coffee, you don't come back miraculously married. Okay.
yeah,
I mean, we wish that would be but it's like, no, go step into it,
mm,
and in it pray, and hopefully you both praying this, that if it's not from God, that He would
yeah,
fizzle it out, that He would
yeah,
remove it, that He would discern or give you something that but it doesn't mean you mustn't step in, because maybe you need to learn something in that stepping into that. And whatever there's might be a situation that you need to go through that you
mm,
need to learn from, that's
yeah,
going to prepare you for your wife, or it's going to prepare you for your husband. But you
yeah.
have to go through that. But you're like, oh no, it's not from God, or I'm not at, I don't know, like,
You don't know. You're the
no, like,
uncertainty.
yeah,
Yeah,
take that leap of faith. If it's not right, God will correct it. If you step in the wrong directions, God's going to turn you around.
yeah,
So like, it just frustrates me when people are like, I'm too scared to step in it, or it's terrifying. And it's like similar to like Jonah, how he ran away. I feel like some people do that. Some people
mm,
see a girl might be intimidated with, oh, they want to get married quickly. First of all, if you fall in love with her, you'll want to do the same thing. If you become her best friend, you'll want to do the same thing. And it's like, but also don't be scared of that. If you like a girl, or if you like a guy that is ready for marriage and you're not quite ready, maybe in the dating there's something that you need to go through that's going to prepare you for marriage. But by the time you get married, God won't allow you to just get married. You can choose to, but God's not going to allow you to get married if you're not ready. But maybe like stop stopping yourself. Stop you. Sometimes people are like, oh, it's the enemy. No, sometimes it's you. Sometimes you're the one preventing yourself from receiving the blessing because you're too scared. And yes, that fear comes from the enemy and comes from the devil, but like that's where I'm like, you got to sometimes take a leap of faith. You got to, even if you're scared, it's the courage or is it bravery that where it says, I command you, take what's courage. Joshua 1:9.
Take courage.
Yeah, I command you, have strength and courage. Is that what it says?
I think so.
Joshua 1:9. Joshua in. I should know my Bible knowledge. My Bible, sorry, I don't want to say it like that. Joshua 1:9. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and of good courage. Do not be afraid, nor be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Okay? It's Joshua 1:9. Okay, he says, yeah, have I not commanded you? I've told you.
Yeah.
Go. Be strong and of good courage, okay? Do not be afraid. Sometimes, though, in that, being strong and of good courage is actually when you're doing something, even if you're scared, even if you're vulnerable, and it's putting your not your life at risk, but you're being vulnerable in a way that like could hurt you. You guarding your heart. No, go. I've told you to go. So it's the same thing of like, do it anyway. If you're scared, terrified anyway, do it anyway. Because first of all, you don't grow in the comfortable. You grow in the uncomfortable. Okay, and you can't grow in the comfortable. Because you need to be challenged to grow. So it's like, if you are out there, girl or boy, well, girl, I'm like more the man, but like, if you're terrified because you don't want to be vulnerable, if you're not in a relationship because you feel that God's telling you according to your single season, but actually you actually just terrified to thingy, do it, because you're going to be I can guarantee she's going to be terrified too. It's a two-way street. You're not in it alone, and I think that's what it's saying. And the whole thing of like a partnership with a marriage and stuff is your team. Your team, do it together, like we we're talking about. So we basically filmed like another 30 minutes worth of stuff, and we realized that it wasn't filming, so that's fun. I just realized I hope it's filming now. Someone asked Sam the other day if she ever gets bored having a boyfriend. Like, do you ever get bored? And like, obviously your answer was,
my answer was no. Like, you don't get bored with your best friend, like your boyfriend or your spouse. Whenever, like, when you get married, you ultimately marrying someone who's your best friend. It's not like, oh, just a guy. It's like you form a friendship and this bond with that person. It's not just, oh, yeah, like, he's my husband or whatever. It's he's my husband, he's my best friend, like, he's the person I can go to, type of thing. And so, like, if you're with someone that you're bored, why are you with them? Like,
could be a first tell sign of
why are you in a relationship if you're bored, or if it's like you're not happy or whatever. So if I'm in this relationship, why, like, I wouldn't be bored, type of thing. It's also like, when the person asked me that, I was like, I thought about it and I was like, no, like, I'm not bored. I'm also like, I'm more like, oh, I wish you could have this type of thing. Like, I wish you could almost like feel what I'm feeling, like this connection with someone who is such a friend, like such a best friend, and also like the other side in a relationship, like like this intimate relationship. So it's like, you're not bored. It's like you're gonna find your wife or your spouse or whatever. It's gonna be your best friend. It's not just gonna be your husband or your wife. It's gonna be your best friend. It's
100%. And I believe the foundation of any relationship, says the person who's never been in a relationship, but I do believe this, that the foundation of all relationships is friendship. And you have to build that friendship before, because like I said, at the end of the day, when all the other stuff, fun things go away from the marriage side, you're best friends, and you want life to be an adventure. You want to be like, you want you're a team and it's you guys against the world.
Yeah.
Life's hard. And like, how cool is it to be able to wake up every day in an adventure? Every day's new, like, you know, you don't know what the world's gonna chuck at you, but you're like, we're in this together, we've got this.
Yeah.
And that it's just a friendship, because that's the foundation, you know. And when you're building a house, you can't, the foundations are very important,
Yeah.
but you often don't see that when the house is finished. You know, you don't see the foundation, but it's there. And it's built well. And I believe that in a relationship it is a friendship. And
Yeah.
and yeah, like, imagine just being like having, think of your best friend. If you've got the same gender best friend, think about having that now with a girl, and then you end up like getting married to them and living with them and living life with them, and it's like,
Yeah.
or with a guy, depending on the
Who you are.
from our side,
Yeah.
but it's like, you know, imagine waking
Yeah.
up and like going and just taking on the world together, like, and I can't wait for that. And it's like, yeah, it's like, even like we were talking in the last, or the video that wasn't recorded, my parents got married and had no money, and my dad felt called to go to Romania, my mom as well, to go, and they ended up living there for 3 years, and it was not easy. Like, if you talk to my mom, it was not easy at all, but they did it together. They woke up every day together, ready for the day. You know, it was tough, but they were there for each other. But it was like, it's like, you know, just adventure. That's the only thing I can think of as an adventure. Like, when you think of a cool adventure, and like, you know, who doesn't love an adventure? And it's like, I want to do that. I want to have that. I want to go and like we always joke about marrying a guy with money, you know, but I genuinely do not care, because money is material, and money isn't my source of happiness. It's not my source of identity. God is my source of identity and happiness and joy, and God is my provider. Money doesn't enable me to buy stuff. God enables me to buy stuff. Money doesn't enable me to live. God enables me to live, you know. He is my strength, he is my rock, he's my foundation. And it's like, so I would much rather have love, true love, you know, that's the next best thing from God's love. Because he wants us to have that love, you know. He's said that, and it's like, I would much rather live in a shack struggling every day, because yes, it's going to be hard, and I know it's easy said than done, but I know it's going to be hard, but I choose happiness. I would much rather be happy than have all the money in the world, because let's be honest, a lot of people that have all the money in the world aren't happy, because they have no sense of who they are, or purpose, or identity, because you find that in Christ. And, you know, if you have that, that's the foundation of life. If you think about the foundation of, like, the friendship is the foundation of relationship, Christ is the foundation of life. And with Christ, if you have Christ as your foundation, the things you can build on that, or the things God can build using you, is just so crazy. And like, now imagine having a husband or someone that, first of all, is like almost actually something that's on my heart recently, is like having a kingdom marriage, of like having the same same purpose and calling, of going into like ministry, going into whatever it may be. And I'm like, I want that so much, and God's put that desire there for a reason, and God knows that. And why would he put that desire there if he wasn't going to fulfill the promise? And on that, talking about promises, it's like, someone was saying the other day, he was like, you know, hold on to your promises. And I was like, what? Like, I don't, like, if you stop, and I'm like, what does God promise me? You know, what is my promises? And I realized it's the desires of my heart, because he put them there. He put there that there's this thing of a desire for your heart, you know. I mean, that was not English, but he's put it there for a reason. And he's your father. He wants to give it to you, but he also knows that you have to be prepared for it, because so, like, an analogy that I like to use, or it came to me the other day, but it's probably also been used everywhere, is that, like, so I'm trusting for this, okay? I'm trusting for what I've just described, kind of thing. And I don't even have a standard. And when I have a high standard, but because he has to know the Lord, and he has to be a leader, and he's the head of a house, you know, he wants to be someone worth submitting to, and because I want to submit, and, like, you know, so as long as that, then, like, God knows what I want. I've prayed and I've asked it, but I've let it all go to him. It's in his hands, and ultimately, and anyway, so I was like saying, so I believe that it's gonna happen soon, okay? I believe that's what God's told me. And it's been a fight, and it's not easy. It's been something that's like, it's been a struggle every day. But
Yeah.
God's given me evidence. He's kept me going. He's held my hand. He's literally that verse of like, I'll be with you wherever you go, kind of, is it, I'll be with you. What is that verse?
I don't know. There's so many verses
Yeah, I'll
about
be
like,
with you
yeah,
wherever you go. There's a few of them that have that same
yeah, I
thing.
will never leave you nor
Yeah,
forsake you. Yeah.
yeah. And it's like I've literally lived that. Literally, I can see him. He's evident in every day of my life. He's evident in like every time I feel like my faith is or my trust is like dimming.
Yeah.
He'll give me something to just hang on. He just gives me.
Yeah.
It's like I'm swimming, and I suddenly start getting tired. It's another analogy for you. Swimming, and I suddenly start getting tired. He's on the boat next to me. I stop and I start to like drown, and he just chucks a rope out to
Yeah.
me, and he just then he keeps, now I'm holding the rope and he's dragging me in the boat, okay, just for a little while, and then until I get strength enough to let go and I start swimming myself, and he keeps doing that.
Yeah, over and
and
over.
his chucking the rope is giving me something, telling me something, using
Yeah.
his creation to talk to me,
Mm.
and it's like so cool. So that's another analogy. That's not the analogy I was talking about. Anyway, so I have this faith, I have this trust that that what he's promised me is bound to happen.
Yeah.
At his in his time. And anyway, it's like, so I'm praying for marriage, okay? And then I'm like, okay, I can't rush the waiting. There's no matter how fast I run here, no matter how, if I sit down, no matter what I do, I can't rush his time.
Yeah.
Okay? But what I can do is I can control what I can control. I can control in how to trying to prepare to be a wife.
Yeah.
Asking him, prepare my heart, soften my heart, help me to be the best person I can be, so when I do meet him, I'm ready. And in that, I'm like, imagine like, I'm praying for rain. I'm a farmer and I'm praying for rain, and I'm churning the I think it's churning the soil. I'm pretty sure it is.
I don't know.
I'm not a farmer, so I don't know. And I'm planting the seeds, and like there's a farmer over there, not doing anything, and I'm praying. I know, I'm like, God said he's gonna give me rain, so I'm gonna prepare. So when that rain does come, the seeds are gonna blossom, they're gonna flourish, the harvest will bear its fruits, and but if I didn't do that and the rain came, I'm gonna miss it because I'm not gonna have I was unprepared. So it's like the same thing of like, hold on to that. If you give you a promise, okay, cool, thank you, Lord, I'm very chuffed with that. Now show me how to help myself
to get to where I need to be for that,
to be the person I need to be.
Yeah.
And in that, it's like he's giving me now the desire to just love. I want to love him so much, my husband. I want to love him so much that he's never been loved before. I want to serve him, like I want to give him the world, like
Yeah.
And also, like, you sent me a thing on Instagram, and I've seen it a few times as well, where it's like, God gave you a heart. God wouldn't give you a heart like yours or something when and not give you a man or a person that's going to love you in the same way, or love you the whatever, because you forget it's all connected and he knows. But it's just trusting in that time and just trying not to be still in the wait unless he tells you to be still, but also like in it, be still and know that I'm God, because even if you can't see anything happening, like people look at me and think I'm crazy, but I believe in God our Father, and it's very exciting things, and it is also crazy because it's like, so again, we spoke about this in the last thing, but
the deleted video.
Deleted video, the unfilmed video. And I'm at a certain age and I've never had a boyfriend. I've never had anyone interested in me that I know of. I've never, and I used to use that as my identity. That used to be my form of my identity, and I never looked to Christ. And something my brother used to say to me is like, how can you love someone else if you can't even love yourself? And I believe that is so incredibly true now. And that also, I sent you something on. Do you have your phone on you? And I think I sent you a photo. And it's like how this thing, I just literally opened Instagram now, and it says, to fall in love with God is the greatest romance. Okay, you're praying for love. God's the best love you can ever receive and get is from God. Start there, and in learning to love God and loving God and falling in love with God, you got to love yourself, because you're going to start seeing yourself through his eyes.
Yeah.
And that ultimately is like where all the insecurities fall away, all the thoughts about yourself fall away. And then when those thoughts do come back, because they will, and it's still something you're going to struggle with, identify them as not from God, because God wouldn't make you feel worthless.
Yeah.
God wouldn't make you feel ugly or whatever it may be. And take authority over those thoughts and be like, you're not from God, you're from the enemy, and therefore I command you out, because you have no place in this mind of mine, because this mind is full of the truth, and I replace it with God's truth and with life, and speak over that, because remember, words hold great power.
Yeah.
God spoke the world into existence. He didn't create it, he spoke it. And then anyway, so then it says to seek him the greatest adventure. Okay. Of course, you're looking for adventure, go look for God. Go seek God, because I can tell you, the last few months, we have been on an amazing venture. It's been a roller coaster. It's had ups and downs. There's still so much unknown. We can't see the future, but yet fully trusted, fully know that God's leading us into a good place. And to find him, the greatest human achievement. Like, I'm sorry, if you feel like you haven't done anything in your life, but you know Jesus, says it here, it's the greatest human achievement.
Yeah.
Imagine having a relationship with the King of Kings, the highest authority ever to exist. Okay, imagine you being a servant and being best friends with the King. That's not something that's seen. That's not something that you would do if you were like, best friends with, if you were in England and whatever, and you were best friends with the King of England. No, but God has created that for you. God has given that to you. So use it.
So we will continue this conversation in another part. So I look forward to part 3.